Starting?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are you starting?
Welcome to this episode of Mining for Spirits. I'm Kayla. This is Eric, and our special guest is my mom, Hildie.
Hi.
So today we'll be talking about what it was like to have a daughter growing up with psychic medium abilities and what it's like today.
Yes. It's like a Maury tagline. At least not Jerry Springer.
Yeah, we don't need one of them.
Yeah. There's enough of them around here. So what are we gonna...
Sorry, I was paying attention to something else
Don't
again.
worry about that crap. Don't worry about that. Worry about this.
Yeah. So, Mom, let's talk about your first paranormal experience first.
As when your uncle's son was doing things he didn't supposed to do whenever he was younger. And then one night him and his friends was in a cemetery. He said he didn't do it, but he was with them, that they was smearing tombstones and stuff. And I heard him, me and Tina heard him hollering and we ran in. And there was a spirit sitting on his dresser, like from his head to his shoulders. And then I went to turn on the light because the light was in the corner here, and I went to turn it on. And here it flew, it like went out the window, but the window wasn't open. And the curtains flew up, like up and stuff, like if the
Like
windows
a
was
gust of
open.
wind.
Yeah. And it disappeared. Then Grandma came in and yelled at him. Said, "Where were you?" And he goes, "Nowhere." And she goes, "You were somewhere you didn't supposed to be." And he goes, "I was at cemetery with people that was smearing the tombstones." And she goes, "Well, that's what you deserve."
Well,
Right.
yeah, you should respect.
But
their
that was the
dead.
first time ever I seen something like that. It was like scary, but it wasn't scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I believed in stuff like that, but like to really believe in it, you have to really see it for yourself. And then once you do, and it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh no. That's not how you want to.
Everybody's there like, you make it up, you just make it up. It's like, yeah, really. We make a story like that up. Like, really? How could you, like, make a story up like that, you know?
Yeah. Like.
I don't know.
Well, her and
wild, though.
Tina's story was the exact same, and I mean, if you ask Son today, he'll still tell you the same story.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think he believes a whole lot in it, so... how you can see something like that and not believe in it is kind of strange to me.
Well, he got a taste of what it was really like. It's a shame that the spirits haunt the ones that like damage your tombstones and stuff.
Well, apparently he was doing something the male spirit didn't like too much.
Exactly.
Because if he wasn't the one doing it, why would he come and visit Son?
Well, he said that he wasn't doing it, he just was with them.
I call bullshit.
Just giving him a warning.
Yeah, that could be
You're
it.
not gonna crap off.
Yeah.
Mike, Tara, can you hear us good?
No.
Shut up.
That's why they're in chat, because they're just gonna... You know sign language.
I know.
Everybody learns sign language.
No. Anyways, so what other paranormal experiences have you had before we get to growing up with me?
When we was living in 7-Eleven, I thought you was down out in the living room on a computer, and I yelled at you to get off the computer and then stop. I lay there and try to go back to sleep, and then I heard it again, and I got up and I said, I came around the corner, I said, "What did I tell you?" And you wasn't nowhere in sight.
Because we were sleeping like we were supposed to
Yeah.
be.
For once. You're like typing or something?
Yeah, like the keyboard, you can hear like, you know.
Tara said, yeah, she's hearing fine. And ditto, bullshit for Uncle Son. But I remember you telling us that.
Yeah.
How about when the wiener dog Oscar die, or was it Bailey?
I don't know. It was one of them. And I was laying in bed sleeping one night, and her dad was sleeping out on the couch, and I like was laying there, and all of a sudden you feel something like jump on the bed, and then you can feel like their feet coming up around you,
Yeah.
and then I felt like the body come up around me, but then when it got to my neck, you could feel this cold breeze on your neck, and I screamed and got up and ran.
So do you think it was the dog, or do you think, did it feel like a dog, or did it feel
felt like an animal.
maybe that was Bailey or Oscar's way of saying, hey,
I don't know, but it was spooky.
I think it was Bailey,
That sounds right.
because we took it pretty hard because he got ran over by a car and the bitch didn't even stop.
Yeah.
So
Well, it was your dad's fault for leaving him loose when I was on the phone.
it's always one
Didn't-
dog having to
Didn't
eat.
Sharon have something similar?
Oh yeah, Casey, when Casey died,
Yeah.
remember she felt something come up and jump on her
Yeah.
in her bed. So
If something ever happened to Diesel, I think he would definitely feel that.
yeah,
Because he's like
it would be you though. 'cause
70 pounds.
he comes to your side to go on the covers because I end up kicking him out because I get too hot.
Yeah. I'll feel a nudging
Yeah,
in the side.
or a lick on the face.
And then I'll just flip out. Say, well, I'm up for the day.
Okay. So, Mom, what would you say your experiences were like growing up with a kid with psychic medium abilities?
It was different. It was kind of cool, but it was different.
Because you're the only one that's helped me through it. Because Dad always said, "Oh, you're just sleeping," even though my eyes were wide open.
Yeah, now. He always tried to blow stuff off. Well, that time me and him was sitting on that, sitting on the couch watching TV, and the TV went off and came back on itself.
That's right. I remember you saying that, and never did that after.
No,
And
they
Dad
never did it before either.
Dad blamed you for turning it off, and the
Yeah,
remote
it
was
was
in front of him.
Yeah, it was laying on the table.
So, what would you give other mothers advice on if their kid was like me?
I just tell them to make sure they believe them and, stand by them and stuff. Be there for them. Even tell you stuff and talk to you. And don't, judge them. Like, you're crazy, blah, blah, blah. It's like, believe what they say until they can prove you wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Support. 'Cause
Exactly.
I can't see stuff. I support.
Well, yeah. But everything that I've told you obviously came back validated every time, so.
This is true.
Well, you have to believe in it because, you go with her and do all this investigations and stuff with her.
Well, I believe in stuff, but I believe there's a lot of crap too. A lot of crap.
Not me. He's
Yeah.
talking about,
No,
shows.
But
and-
shows, and not only shows, but these haunted places, people hearing sticks snapping in the woods and freaking out, crapping their pants and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Or sometimes you'll get glitches on your audio, and that doesn't necessarily mean it is something. It happens.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
sure does.
so I believe, but
But Kayla has seen stuff ever since she was probably 3 or 4.
I was a weird kid.
yeah, that's a heck of a.
She was in bed that time we was playing the Ouija, and she's in bed sleeping, and all of a sudden she gets up screaming. And it's there's no way that, she knew we was playing the Ouija,
Yeah.
because she was in
I
bed.
didn't even know what a Ouija was.
No. No.
Don't play with Ouija boards. It's a bad idea.
Go ahead, finish your story.
And, like the next day and stuff, and she's there like she's there. I seen it. I seen something. I'm there. What? And she's there saying like, what was she doing? And I said, well, we was playing a Ouija board. I said, but we didn't go nowhere. Well, cause we didn't ask it like spiritual. You know what I mean? We
Yeah.
like asked like
Just toying
who's
around.
like who's Lisa going to marry when she grows up, or Denise, you know, stuff like that. We didn't like call on a spirit.
Did it say Mike?
No, she's supposed to marry Denise. Supposed to marry Brian.
That's why I don't
Lisa,
play with
I
Ouija
forget
boards.
who said Lisa's supposed to marry.
Tara said the worst was my mom not believing in me, even though she has the gift as well, until my pap died. And Mike said, I agree, there's a lot of BS on TV these days.
That's strange that your mom didn't believe, even though she had it. You think that would encourage? That's crazy.
But that's why Pap always believed what you say too, because he had it.
Well, that's because me and Pap usually seen the same thing in the house.
Yeah.
And Grim would say, oh, Yens are just nuts. Until I described her dad to a T and never seen the man in my life. So.
I always believed Pap whenever he said he seen something.
Yeah.
No matter, tell me more.
That's how she was with me, too. I'd tell her something, she'd be like, well, what did he look like? Or what did she look like? Or what did they tell you?
No, you have to.
Yeah. It kind of encourages.
To embrace it.
Yeah.
Instead of being afraid of it.
Absolutely.
But then you have worry about people thinking you're a weirdo. And
You could not be into paranormal and people still think you're a weirdo. I mean,
it's just not normal being normal.
how do you even?
That's what I
define
told her. I
normal,
said,
though?
don't worry what other people think. You know, just be yourself.
Well, it was awkward going to school, too. You know, you see these things or whatever, and you're the only one that can see it. So it's like, well, I don't think that person's supposed to be there, but nobody else is paying attention, so it's just me. How many
Right.
times were we driving? I'm like, wow, look! And then you're like, nobody's there. Like when we were driving down Krieger.
A good many, I guess. I'm not very attentive anyways when I'm driving. But
She said, Tara said it runs in every generation on my mom's side with 7 people each generation. See, ours skipped. Like, Pap had it, and then nobody had it out of the kids, and then I got it. And then it skipped, well,
it would skip this generation.
no, I didn't, though, remember?
Well, Amanda always says she heard things
Really?
though, like if somebody went to die, like George's dad and stuff. She heard somebody
Yeah.
can't never,
Omens.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
I get dreams like that.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I'm not talking about my not being in my body stuff.
No, I'm not talking about that. That's astral projection.
No, I don't do that. I'm talking about you'll have a dream about something, and then maybe like 2-3 months down the road, you experience the thing you had a dream about. And then after you experience it, you recall your dream.
Yeah, I did that.
But usually in mine, something changes. Like in my dream, something terrible happens, but in real life, it doesn't. So I don't know.
Well, that's kind of good.
I guess it is good. I mean, I don't know. So I guess it could be worse.
Because that's like me whenever Amanda and them ran away. I kept having a dream, like how they was coming back. And then when they came back, it played exactly as I was dreaming it.
So you had a premonition.
Yeah,
And you don't realize until after
Yeah,
it happens.
exactly.
And then you're like,
It's
hey,
like-
wait a minute.
Yeah.
I did this.
I had a dream before that I got fired, and the next day I got fired.
If only you could have somehow prevented that.
Yeah, it's weird how you do stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary.
Well, how about your cool dream you had before we get on more subjects of growing up with me?
What?
What
Don't you
dream?
sit there and
Uncle
smuck
Gary.
her.
Oh, you're talking to me.
Yeah.
I thought you were just talking to your mom.
No.
No, I just saw your Uncle Gary in a dream. And, well, he had cancer, and I never met him. And when I saw him, he was kind of like I've seen a lot of different pictures of him, younger, older, when he was sick, when he was good. But when I saw him in my dream, he was kind of he was a little bit heavier, but when he got sick, he got skinny. He was back to like a heavier, no gray hair, kind of like back when he was in a band. So it was like back in, I don't know, 30s, 40s, his 30s and 40s, something like that. But yeah, I told him it would have been really nice to have met him, and he said he felt the same way, and he likes me, and that was pretty much it.
And we'll all be together again someday.
Yeah, he did say that. That's right. Said, that's right. I said it'd be nice to meet you, and he said we'll see each other one day. So that's cool.
It was like he approved of Eric.
Should. I'm awesome.
They always say that Eric reminds them just of Gary, so. Do you have questions for Mom?
Yeah, how do you put up with her for so long?
Hey. Mind you, Eric and I have been together for almost 10 years, so.
Alright, well, what's the goofiest thing that she ever come up with as far as, not come up with, but...
She took a picture in the house that one time, and it had, like, in their bed.
Yeah.
And there was a guy laying there, it looked like a coal miner holding a baby.
No, that wasn't the coal miner. That was there was a soldier.
That was upstairs,
holding a
That
baby.
looked like a coal miner.
Mom, the first picture I ever took was the coal miner.
Yeah.
So go ahead and tell that story. The soldier holding a baby was a completely different day.
Well, you tell him.
You tell him. He's asking you.
Well, because that one, I don't, like, she goes, look, Mom, look, nobody believed me. And they're like, whoa.
I thought, no, I don't think
What
you
happened?
had that picture.
I don't have that picture anymore.
I think the
We
soldier
moved
one
so
you
many.
had.
We moved, I thought I'd give them to you.
You know how many times we've moved and lost
Uh-huh.
things? But what happened was my friend was staying the night, and I was sitting there talking to her, and I'm like, I'm getting really cold. And then I kind of sat there, and I'm like, looking up, and she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, that guy. And she's like, what are you talking about, that guy? There's nobody up here. So I took a picture, and there he was.
Yeah.
And that was the coal miner?
Mm-hmm.
That was downstairs?
That was upstairs in my room.
Upstairs. They were both upstairs, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I saw the one. But those were...
There's all them
You had to get them developed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No, it was where you pulled it out
Yeah.
like a Polaroid, but it was a
Yeah,
smaller
and you
one.
shook it.
No, you don't shake them. You shake them, they'll get ruined. You're not supposed to shake Polaroids.
Well, then why does the song say shake it like a Polaroid picture?
Because it's just...
I never had a Polaroid.
Well, I did, and I used to wave it and
I
stuff
thought that
like
was what
that.
you're supposed to do, was wave it.
The bigger ones, not the smaller ones. The smaller one you just pulled
Oh,
out.
I know what you're
Yeah,
talking
these
about.
was for kids.
Mm-hmm. So it's not like you could redevelop something like that. It was a one and done type
One
deal.
and done, yeah.
Gotcha.
Never fails with Diesel.
Has to interject his opinion. You might not even be able to hear with that mic though.
So what's the most memorable experience with me?
With you? I don't know. You had so many. Like that time you was upstairs and playing the radio, then all of a sudden it went up and I thought you turned it up, and here you come screaming, Mom, my radio turned up by itself. And it's like, I thought you did it. You're no.
No, I was on. That's when Instant Messenger was the cool thing. That's how old I am.
AOL.
But I was on AOL getting ready for school, just talking to my friends before we left for school, because you never have enough time as with kid or your friends in school. But I was getting ready, and you can always tell when a tone, either drops or turns up. No, it was turned down.
No, it turned
You
up.
said the volume
turned
was
up.
getting higher.
Was
Yeah,
it? Okay,
yeah.
so the volume, you could tell, and then when I looked back, I actually seen the knob twisting. And I bolted out of the room, started screaming. And Mom was in the bathtub at the time, so I ran into the bathroom. I was like, oh my gosh! And Mom's like, I'm trying to get a shower. What's wrong? And she's like, I thought you did that. I'm like, no. I think I made her even come back upstairs with me while I got dressed, ready for school.
Yeah, you did. I checked it out.
There was a lot of electrical things at that house.
Mm-hmm.
Because even after, when your dad was there, remember he's throwing out a TV, he said it kept turning off itself.
Yeah.
But he never believed in stuff like that.
That's why he threw it
yeah.
out, because he thought it was just an electrical thing.
Yeah, I told her, I said, we should have brought the TV here and see if it did the same thing. My luck, we bring something with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, no thanks.
But yeah, that would have been interesting to find out. I mean, if it's continuous shutting off, it is possible. It could be electronic. Just a flaw in the motherboard or something like that. But still, it's hard to, when you're dealing with remote controls, there's so many wireless signals in the air today.
So tell them about my first experience that I remember. That I thought was my first, but the Ouija board was my first when Uncle Gary.
The hand, the black hand over your head.
It was a white hand with black fingernails.
Yeah. Al Paps.
Yeah.
She's in the bathroom and all of a sudden she comes screaming and stuff like that. Or what's wrong? And she's there. There's a white hand with black nails above my head. It's like, calm down.
Calm down.
Grandma's like, oh, it's probably your own. And Pap's like, I told you, and she had what I had. Nobody listens to me. Do I zone when I see things? Do I zone when I see things?
I guess sometimes.
Did I zone when I was a kid? Like, I would space out.
Maybe. I don't know.
What are you staring at?
Yeah, you stare at us like a little bit.
Okay, so...
Because I still catch you doing that. Remember when we was at that lawyer's that week? A couple weeks ago? And I go, what are you staring at? And you said, there's things in here.
I was like, we're not alone. She's
Yeah.
like...
It's always good to know.
So Tara wants to know if you ever had to explain it to somebody, like from me zoning off and they're wondering what was going on. Did you ever have to explain that to anybody?
Yeah. They was usually a friend. And they understood, they believed me and stuff. Well, I think they did anyhow.
Yeah. So she has.
Yeah.
I
But
don't
you
know.
will have the people that don't believe you. It's just like, whatever, you know.
Just how people are.
Yeah.
That's just people in general.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of people, like I said, like I believe, but I really, like, I believe, but I wasn't really a real bad believer till I seen that thing Spirit
Yeah.
in Son's room. And that's when I was. There is things after life.
Yeah. It's one thing to say I believe in it, but to experience something,
Yeah.
it adds that little.
See, Grandma believes so much too, but she don't believe like we do, because like she tells you when she was walking at one time.
She's seen that woman dancing in the cemetery. And Grandma brought her
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
Well, she also
I
tells
would
you
too.
about the headless horseman too that was in front of her house. But
Well, her mom told her stories too. That
yeah.
what she.
So it
seen.
seems like I've got it from both sides,
Yeah.
not just both of my my mom's parents. Dad's side don't really believe in any of it. I don't think they don't really talk about that kind of stuff.
It don't seem like it.
So
What?
you don't have you're pretty quiet tonight.
I mean, how do you feel about her going into some of these places that we go in?
I don't like it. A lot of
Thanks,
times.
Eric. I knew it was coming.
I don't like it too good because like I know what can happen and stuff.
I told her quit watching those
Well,
haunting shows.
Yeah,
That's my favorite show is The Hauntings.
I think for the most part, though, the places we go aren't negative places.
And I tell her we
There's
protect
no-
ourselves and we make sure that we're protected coming home. And it's not like I walk in there and be like, "What's up?" You know.
Well, that's like my
That's
friend
something
Mary.
else.
Me and her always talked, and like she told me stories that happened to her in her lifetime. So see, she was a believer too. Because even her
Yeah.
daughter swore about a doll being haunted.
They say that. I don't. We do have experience with haunted stuff.
Yeah.
Objects.
And then
So
Mary, she said after she got rid of the doll, everything went back to normal.
I believe that. I mean,
I did too.
Objects can be haunted.
especially dolls.
Dolls, mirrors, pictures. They can all be haunted. You just got to be careful. So, what would you say? Let me see how to word this. What would your favorite part of me being a psychic medium be to you?
I don't know.
Listen, to this day, I still call my mom after an investigation and be like, "Mom, listen, what happened to me? Or what happened on this? Or I did a walkthrough of this place and this is what I picked up on and they validated this, this, and this."
Yeah,
So, I
she
mean,
does.
what would be the worst thing about it?
Thought you doing this? If you brought something back with you on your hunts?
Yeah. I don't think
Well,
we'll-
yeah, but I mean,
Something can
we've
like
never done that.
connect itself to you.
well, yeah. But you can walk into a cemetery yourself and have something connected to you.
True.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I mean, at one of the houses we investigated, a lady she got a chair from an antique store and got something from that. So,
Yeah, there was a female presence attached to the chair, and when we asked the female presence if they could have the chair, she said no. Like they didn't.
Yeah.
She didn't want nothing to do with this lady. So
that's why our chairs are ghost free.
okay.
You have any more?
God.
I'm thinking. I should have wrote down a list beforehand.
That's what I was going to do
I-
too.
It would have been a good idea.
I told her, I said, I'm going to write things down that, tell about that I remember.
Well, go ahead.
Well, I didn't do it, so I don't remember them all.
Well, you don't have to remember them all, but you can talk about the ones you do remember. You covered the Ouija board. well, the night of the Ouija board, not the next day, with Uncle Gary burning it because there was a man behind him. Then he burnt the Ouija board and the man went away. But you're not supposed to technically burn Ouija boards.
Worked out in this case.
It did.
Well, like I said, we didn't call out nobody. We just
I know,
was
but just
asked and
messing with it in general can bring
like
something.
talking, like
Well,
asking questions.
did bring something out of it, obviously.
It opens up a door. But yeah. What do you say to people that say this is crap? Like they don't buy it.
I don't know. Well, that's your opinion, you know.
Yeah.
You can't like fight with them because some people don't believe in it, and some people do.
Punch him in the face.
Well, how do you deal with it?
How do I deal with it? I kind of just joke around about it. I got a guy at work always tells me to bring my proton pack, and I'm like, yeah, I got it in the trunk. You know, I was ready to roll. I don't let it get to me because we're each different. You know? So,
That's what I say too.
who cares what other people think about it?
Tara wants to know what was the worst message I ever gave you.
The worst message.
What are you smirking about?
That you could see spirits and you don't know how to shut them off. Remember that girl was showing you how to do it because you didn't know how to like control it.
Mm-hmm.
That was,
Kendra.
Yeah, Kendra.
yeah.
Kendra's the reason
Just
that...
like we get to
Switch.
cemeteries and stuff, and you be like freaking out and saying they're trying to, you know, talk to me. I don't know how to shut them off because right now I don't want to talk and stuff like that.
So it was heartbreaking to you because I didn't know how to work my abilities at
Yeah.
first.
Well, there's really nothing you can do. Like on your end,
No,
what are you supposed to do?
So you kind
exactly.
of felt helpless.
Yeah. Because, like, I didn't know anybody that, you know, has that ability and stuff.
Except for Pap, but me and Pap weren't allowed to talk about it.
Yeah, but I don't even think Pap knew how to shut it off either.
Mm-mm. No, because it happens.
Yeah.
Well, I think up until you started having everything, did he really even have anybody to relate to?
His mom and them seen stuff too. It was like his whole family.
I don't know if his mom knew. He never told me about his mom.
His mom and sister seen stuff too.
Yeah, Lily did.
Yeah. So did his mom.
I don't remember him saying about his mom. I remember Grandma saying about her
Well,
mom.
you took Grandma out when me and Pap would talk. That's why.
Well, like,
Take him for a ride.
Aunt Lily's the one told me about her ability of seeing stuff.
Yeah. My favorite from her was when the door wouldn't stay shut and she said, "Shut the damn door." And the spirit shut the door and it never opened up again.
Yeah.
So it's more of Pap's side than it is Grandma's side. But Grandma's side seemed to have abilities too that nobody ever talked about.
Yeah.
A lot of people weren't comfortable talking about that.
Yeah.
They don't know what to think. Are they nuts? Are they nuts?
No? Are you saying I'm nuts?
No, I'm not saying you're nuts.
I remember Mom was at work one night and I had to call her because the cupboard doors in the kitchen on 7-Eleven came open and bowls start flying out. I'm like, I'm going up to Easy Living, see you later. Because Mickey was working.
Yeah?
And I would sit up there until Mom came and got me after work. I made sure I locked the doors though. It wasn't like I just ran out.
That would make you want to leave.
But I'm like, F this.
I can see why.
The little prancing you hear is Mom's dog.
That's like, I don't know. I didn't care to be by myself in a house either.
Betty and I drove past it yesterday, and she said, "I miss that house." I said, "I don't. I don't miss that house at all." But I'm trying to think here.
Yeah.
What other advice would you give other moms for their children besides to believe them and be there for them?
Just make sure you listen to what they have to say.
Like start a journal.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Because then you can look back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Never thought
Or a diary.
Same thing. Maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
For guys, a
Doug
journal.
had a journal.
Yeah. Well, guys don't call them diaries.
I'm from the 90s, I'm sorry.
Do you think as I got older, it progressed more?
Yeah.
Like it progresses more and more as I get
Yeah,
older?
because like when you was little, you like once like see it as much as you do now. Or when you got older.
Yeah. They would just scare the living daylights out of me with radios.
Yeah.
Or make noise. Because upstairs, we have the attic. My dad remodeled the whole attic and stuff. And Betty and I would be either watching TV or we'd be in our beds and it sounded like somebody was walking across the floor. Well, nobody is up. Mom and Dad are usually in bed.
Right.
Because it was like 10, 11 o'clock at night. Of course, it was a weekend, not a weekday, because they have to be in bed for school.
Right. Of course.
But, and I mean, Betty might sit there and deny everything now. But she's heard her name called a couple times to where she blamed me for it. And it's like, it's not me.
Yeah. Well, she too says about not believing in it, but then she gives you these places you should go check out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, she never did believe it. She was like your dad.
Oh, yeah, until, she seen that guy running across the bedroom floor. Yeah. Remember, we thought it was Sakura?
Yeah.
I don't remember this story.
Oh.
That's a new one.
We were sleeping one night and we seen this big black shadow going running across the attic. But it was our bedroom, like I said. And we got up to see if it was our friend. And he wasn't there. Because we're like, wait, he's not even here. But in our thought, he was there.
Right, right.
So it's just...
Yeah, I don't remember that story.
I know when we first moved in the house on 7-Eleven, I was seeing things too. But I would never tell anybody. That's when me and Betty shared the dining room. Because Dad was getting the upstairs ready.
Yeah.
And Betty'd be like, would you go to sleep? And I'd be like, I can't. Because I've seen things.
Yeah, I wonder how much of a role that house had as far as you developing more abilities and everything.
I'm sure it probably played a big part in it.
Like, if you weren't around it so much, you might not have developed it nearly as much.
Grandma's house is on it, so...
I don't know how, because it's new.
It don't matter, it's the ground it's on.
I know. That's like they say. A lot of these places aren't the houses, it's the ground they sit on.
Right.
Plus, back in the early 1800s, you don't know where everything was, or who was buried where.
No, you don't.
I think so too, Mike. Mike said, I think the paranormal shows on today have been a big help with getting more people to talk about the paranormal.
Right. And I would agree with that. I think one of the problems that I've noticed among when you get together with like certain, and it's not all people who are sensitive, but a lot of times it seems like so many of them just are interested in being right about things instead of actually developing and working with other people to help them develop. And it's just like a competition almost, and really shouldn't be.
No.
Which there were members in OPS that like you got along great with.
Yeah.
And it's like you guys connected, talked about things, and it's like you're seeing similar things, sharing similar experiences, but it's like you work together to
Well, look at
get a better feel.
Kendra and I.
That too.
I
And
mean, Kendra has been,
and she's been great as far as
she's been the one that helped me embrace my abilities instead of being afraid of them. Because, like Mom said, she helped me learn to shut them on and off. And I pretty much feel like I can, what's the word I'm looking for? Where you can confide in her.
Yeah, you confide.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's like that with pretty much everybody that comes across and has abilities and, to help them better manage them, better tap into them.
Yeah. And that's why I try to help people now, because it's like, I know how I started off and how I was terrified, and I don't want other people to be like that. And I don't want Mom waking up in the middle of the night with me screaming because there's a ghost on my dresser.
Yeah, that would be best.
I think the thing too about paranormal shows is I wish they would be real. A lot of them fake stuff just so, they get the ratings.
We had this discussion a few weeks back, I think,
Yeah.
when we was in Gettysburg about. But the thing is, it kind of, would a real paranormal show really take off?
No,
Like a
because
full,
you basically sit in the dark for hours and hours. Sometimes you get stuff, sometimes you don't.
I mean, like a full 45 to 1 hour show of a real investigation. I could see a channel like this where you're doing clips, maybe like a 5-minute clip of some evidence you captured.
Yeah.
Something like that. Or even given a history of something. But there are so many hit and miss things about real investigations. You can go weeks and months without getting anything.
That's blue. But yeah.
Wake up.
Millie says
I'm
this
like
stuff
tired.
bores me.
I've been up since 3. So wake up.
But like Aunt Barbara, she used to hear things calling her name.
Our grandma's?
No.
Is that where she lives now?
No, up the old place.
Where she lives now is, there's something there. It's not a bad thing. Whatever's there is not bad. But as soon as you walk in the house, you can tell the air is different. And I even told Aunt Barbara, I said, I love your house. Like, I'm drawn to your house for some reason. But her house is like 200 years old.
Then Uncle Son, he seen his one friend walk in the cemetery that one night that got killed.
I never heard that story. Yeah. See? This show brings out stories about my family I don't even know.
It's true.
He did.
So his friend died and he saw him walking through like the cemetery he was buried in?
Yeah.
That's the thing, like people don't understand why cemeteries are haunted because that's not where they died or that's not this or that. Like that's supposed to be your final resting place. But maybe, the spirits are lost and looking,
It's possible.
And spirits don't have to stay in one spot.
No.
Maybe he knew Son was there that night, going past that night, so he figured, hey, I'll show myself so he knows I'm okay.
Yeah. yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you mind telling everybody about what happens when you die? Or do you want to not cover that?
Yeah, I'll do it. I don't care.
Okay, so you want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
I got a call at 7 o'clock in the morning that my mom had to be revived because she died. I came out bawling to my friend, and I'm like, you need to get me to the hospital. Like, I can't drive. You got to drive. We got to go. We get to the hospital, and my mom's in ICU. And I end up walking in, and she's hooked up to this ventilator and everything else. And they said, your mom, we found her face down in the bed. She was dead, and we revived her.
And then whenever I died, I seen my two brother-in-laws, Timmy and Gary, and like I seen them coming. Like I'm laying there, and it's like there was nobody there. It's like, where's everybody at? And then
Where were
here
you at, though? Like, what?
in the hospital,
You could see that you were in a hospital.
Yes.
The surroundings.
yes. And they came through the door, and they was walking, and I asked them. I said, "Where's my dad at? Where's Dad at? Where's Dad?" And they just like smiled at me. And Gary stayed on the one side of me, on this side, and then Timmy walked around my bed, and then he sat on like his table, had like, you know how they have like tools of like
Surgical
your
equipment?
surgical tools and stuff. Well, he sat up in there. And he's talking to me and Gary, and I said about where's Dad, and they just smiled at me, and they said, "You got to go back. It's not your time to go."
What were you guys talking about?
Just different things. So I don't really know how long I was dead. You know what I mean? Because like I was talking to them and I like seen them walking in and stuff like that. But it could have been a couple minutes or seconds, you know?
Yeah.
Because I was dead.
Well, they usually, I mean, they found you dead and they had to revive you, so I'd probably say a couple minutes at least.
Yeah.
You would think. Were you aware that you were dead?
No.
You just didn't really think anything of it?
No. I just thought, like, you know, when I, like, seen myself, Gary and them walking in, I know I was in a hospital because I, like you said, I seen the surroundings.
But you were in like a surgical room because he sat on surgical equipment.
It must have been. I don't know. It just looked like a regular room to me, but with a surgical table on my side. So
That's see, when I first asked Mom about this, she was like, "Oh, I didn't see anything," and I could
Well-
tell she was lying because Mom can't lie to me very well because she tries to keep this straight face and she can't. So then she eventually did open it up to me, and then she did tell everybody else. But I'm glad that they did send you back.
oh, I was worried about my dad.
I know.
Where's my dad?
And she always asks, "Well, why didn't they send your pap to me?" I said, "Probably because you wouldn't have came back then."
Well, that's what I said. Like, I mean, I love my two brother-in-laws, but like, I want to see my dad and my Aunt Dorothy because she's like a second mom to me. And it's like, and I got to see them too, which I didn't mind because I loved seeing them too.
Is there a possibility that they're like spirit guides or something now?
Yeah.
That they've moved on?
Guardian
And
angel.
that's why they were the two.
I told you who my spirit guide is.
It's Pap, isn't it?
Yep.
You've seen them.
Yeah. I've seen Pap a couple times.
I know Timmy and Gary is mine.
One could be her guardian angel, and the other one could be a spirit guide, or they could both be her guardian angel, or they could have just been sent to, talk with her to get her to come back. There's a reason they were sent to her.
Right.
Yeah. Because that's like
You
I
would think.
said. I mean, I love them and stuff like that, but of all people, you think
Well,
it'd
you were
been
close with Uncle
Yeah.
Gary.
yeah, you think it'd been like Dad and Aunt Dorothy or somebody.
Or Billy and Pat.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you'll eventually
Yeah.
find out why that was.
There's a reason.
But I'm glad that they found you in time.
Well, the machines went off.
No,
I didn't have machines on.
Oh, you didn't have anything hooked up?
no.
Huh.
They found her face down in her bed, and she was blue, is what the nurse said. So she was dead for a little while to be turning blue.
Right.
And then the doctor in the ICU was making me mad because he's like, you need to leave her rest. She's going to get upset. It's like, she's sleeping. How's she going to get upset? She's fine. He's trying to lay on that rug. Watch it, Willard.
Yeah, like I said, that night, I remember I rolled to my side because my back was hurting me. And I rolled to my side to go to sleep. And I don't believe that I was face down. That's just too hard to believe because, you know,
There's not a lot of room in them beds.
No.
no.
I don't know.
Well, even one of the other people said that they think that you had too much pain medicine on top of anesthesia.
Well, that's what I say too. Because I don't remember coming out of surgery or waking up out of the recovery room or anything.
Yeah.
And I always did before. It's like, didn't
Yeah.
matter, you know. I had how many surgeries, and I remember coming out of stuff like that.
Yeah.
I even remember coming out of my wisdom teeth. That wasn't probably nearly as much anesthesia, but
Yeah.
still, I remember the whole walking into the halls and sitting in that little waiting area until you guys got the car around for me to come over and get in.
Well, I remember waking up from my hysterectomy, which I'm pretty sure I was probably as put under as Mom was, if not more.
Well,
I'm
the problem
sure.
is, too, my first back surgery, I woke up and came out. It was no problem, stuff
Yeah.
like that. And then a year later, they just
Yeah.
removed the screws, and I
Mhm.
died.
Yeah, that's strange.
Somebody screwed up.
Yeah.
Somebody
Because, like I
screwed up.
said,
Well, at least you got to see Uncle Gary and Uncle Tim, and you're not afraid to die. And
no.
did you have a worry about dying before that?
Yeah,
I think everybody has a worry from.
I was.
Right. It gives you peace of mind.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not afraid of dying. But that'd have been the way to go if I died when I died, because,
Didn't know anything about it.
yeah.
Yeah, something was up
Yeah,
in there.
like I said,
Yeah.
I had the big surgery the year before and nothing happened. I came out of it fine and woke up, remembered everything. And then this time, it was a year later, and then he did that, just removed my screw, and I don't, I don't remember anything, and then I died.
It's crazy.
It is. It is.
But I'm not afraid of dying since I see Gary and Timmy, you know.
Yeah. Kind of give you a peace of mind.
Yeah.
It's just crazy because you didn't know you died. And you were talking to him like it was normal. You know what I mean? And you're like, where's Pat? So in your mind.
Well, I knew I was dead when I seen them.
Oh, you knew you were dead?
Yeah, I knew I died whenever I seen them, because why else would I see them?
Oh, because Eric said, did you know you were dead? And you're like, no.
Oh, sorry.
It's all good.
At that time, I didn't know I was dead. But like when I died, I didn't remember until I seen them too, and it's like I have to be dead because I see them too,
Yeah.
and I know they was gone, you know.
Right.
And for me to see them, I know I had to go.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It is.
Any more questions?
I don't think. You remember coming back?
Yeah, I remember like coming back, and then I woke up and I had that tube down my throat, and Kayla was standing on this side, BJ was on this side, and I Kayla's turned her back because I seen her crying. Kayla turned her back, and I'm like trying to get her attention. She went look, and I'm like trying to pull out the thing.
Yeah, I remember you trying to pull it out a
Yeah.
couple times.
Because I was trying to talk, and it's like, you know, it was a bit hard to hear me, and it's like she didn't hear me.
And my best friend Amber stuck by me the whole time. And her mom took great care of Mom. I think Mary worked
Almost
most
all
the
of
whole
those
time
days.
you were there.
See, I remember Mary. She was strolling me down the hall.
That was to your original room.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. But that's, you know, like I don't remember coming out of the surgery, the recovery room. I remember Mary doing that, and I told her, I said, if I say anything or do anything, I'm sorry, you know, because I didn't know how I'd be acting.
Yeah, they had you pretty messed up.
All duped up.
And then, like I said,
Because I told Mom, I said, you drank coffee and ate pudding I brought up from the
yeah, and
cafeteria.
I don't remember nothing like that. I don't remember her giving me coffee and food and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember nothing like that.
Must have done. So it ain't me.
No. Didn't you tell me you had a show to do?
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool that you got to experience that, but it's not cool that you had to go through that in order to get that experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you know
And
how,
now, didn't you say you started seeing and hearing things in your house after that? Wouldn't that be after your back surgery, after you died?
yeah.
Because they say when you die, sometimes you get more
Sometimes you
sensitive
open
to
up
the
more.
yeah.
I don't know that if it's permanent or temporary.
I don't know.
Well, it was nothing, like, I don't think bad.
No,
I just seen, like, things in the corner of my eye.
your peripheral vision never lies to
Yeah.
you.
That's what you said.
See, I never felt anything bad there. Like, I felt fine. Though when I slept in the spare room, I always slept with the TV on because I felt like somebody was watching me.
I got chills, like, in that room, too. That's why I'm glad I had Willie to sleep with me whenever.
Well, I mostly had Diesel.
Yeah.
Diesel stayed with me. Tara wants to know, has your mom had any premonition since your death? Your death.
No. If anything, like I said, I see things out of my eye now.
And feeling them on the back of your leg.
I felt that before I died.
No, it was before you. It was after you got Willie.
What are you talking about?
When you felt at the house, you said you felt like somebody jumped on, or Willie jumped on the back of your leg.
Oh yeah, in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was something like how he would jump at you
Yeah.
and he hit you with his paw. That's who I thought it was doing. I like looked down, there was no Willie around, and I knew it couldn't be him because if he would jumped on me, he would be sitting there for me to look at him.
Or
Yeah.
you would have seen him leaving the room.
Yeah. It did that like 2 or
I
3
heard him.
times, and that was after I died.
Yeah.
His collar rattles.
Yeah, it's called
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something.
But that's what it felt like. Something hit my leg like that, like him jumping at me. It was weird.
Yeah. She would call me. I told you there's something in my house.
Yeah.
I
I
said,
remember that.
I said, Mom, well, if there's someone in your house, there's nothing to be afraid of because I feel at peace there. I said, the only thing I said, the guy died there of a heart attack, and I always felt like somebody watched me in that room, but that's it. It never felt like it was going to harm me. It never felt like it didn't want
No.
me there. But like you said, when the girls stayed, what happened in that room when the girls stayed?
We was laying there one night, and it's like all of a sudden, like you could see like when somebody opened the door because we had the lights out, and when somebody opened the door, you could see like a light from the kitchen because I left the kitchen stove light on, and so you see that little light. And one night, I seen Kayla's even seen it. She's like, "Grandma, the door's opening." And I'm like, "Nah." And then I like looked, and it was. And I said, it might be Rich looking in on us, you know. And here, the next day, I got up and I asked Rich if he's looked in to see, you know. He said no.
You even said the door shut itself,
Yeah.
too.
Yep, it shut itself. Like if somebody's peeking in on you, you know,
Yeah.
and then they pull the door shut. That's what that was how it happened. It was weird.
It is weird.
And I mean, I'm not the only one seeing it either. Caden's seen it. Because she's the one mentioned it first. Because I didn't see the door, like, open right away till she told me.
Yeah.
She goes, "Grandma, the door's open." And I'm like, "Nah." And I, like, looked and it was. And then it shut. That's why I thought it was Rich. Because I thought he was peeking in on, you know, seeing if we was all in there and stuff. And I asked him, and he said no.
He's creeping.
Crazy
It
stuff
was.
happening. Crazy stuff.
That's what I said. Stuff does happen to me. Like,
So maybe you have abilities, but you just never embraced it or paid much attention to it.
true.
And then I inherited it from you. Well, I inherited it from Pap. I know that for everything all my life, but it seems like you have your own abilities too.
Yeah.
I'm not the only crazy one in this family.
I could have told you that.
Thanks. But it is time for the show to be over. So thank you for joining us. Mom, thanks for being the special guest tonight.
You're welcome.
and
Thanks for
talking.
asking me to come on.
I'm sure you'll see her in the future.
Maybe.
How rude. But have yourselves a good night. Our next show will be September 8th, and that'll be about reincarnation.
Reincarnation. I'm going to have to
Yeah.
research some of that because I'm not as familiar with the whole...
Do you believe in it?
That's when you come back as like butterflies and stuff, right?
No. You can come back as another person. You can come back as just different things.
You come back as a dog. Well, if you get to sleep all freaking day long.
As
Yeah,
long
but
as you're
some
not like
dogs-
Maddox.
Some dogs don't get a good home, though.
Yeah. Or you're stuck in a shelter your whole life.
Yeah.
That's true.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
Bye.
Later. Later. You gotta hit okay.